Hey everyone, welcome back. Still waiting for Square Enix to give us a proper Final Fantasy Tactics sequel? Stop holding your breath. From political betrayals to deep grid combat, these 12 modern tactical RPGs deliver that exact Ivalice itch right now. Let's dive in. Starting at 12, Redemption Reapers is what happens when you take tactical grid combat and drown it in pure, unfiltered misery. You command an elite squad of battered mercenaries fighting off monstrous legion hordes. Instead of throwing around flashy anime magic, combat revolves around tight positioning and jumping enemies in brutal gang attacks with nearby allies. Resources are so obnoxiously scarce that hoarding a single health potion feels like guarding a holy relic. It is grim, punishing, and slightly clunky. But if you enjoy suffering through stressful tactical bottlenecks, this one delivers.
Taking the shot.
That was just a warm-up.
Landing at 11, Dark Deity 2 is tailor-made for strategy nerds who miss classic 90s grid tactics and hate sleeping at night. It drops you into a high-stakes fantasy war, but the main attraction is its absurd customization depth. With 45 distinct classes and branching promotion trees, you can build an entire army of specialized weirdos. Want to take a fragile teenage recruit and turn them into an untouchable frontline brick wall? Go right ahead! The indie cutscenes are basic, but if you live for min-maxing unit stats and watching numbers go up, it is total digital crack.
Just take this. The spirits favor me today.
Taking the 10th spot, Disgaea 7 takes the isometric grid mechanics of Final Fantasy Tactics and injects them with pure, unadulterated madness. You follow a lazy samurai demon and an otaku girl brawling across a demonic netherworld. While it keeps familiar grid rules like height advantages and directional backstabs, it inflates stat caps into the multi-billions. You literally lift teammates into human totem poles, reincarnate characters 100 times, and smack bosses for astronomical damage. It trades serious political war for unhinged anime comedy, and it is insanely addictive. Sliding into 9th place, River's Collapse codename Bakery swaps out high fantasy swords and dragons for tactical firearms and futuristic military sci-fi. Set in a bleak frozen wasteland, you lead a small group of operatives fighting off an overwhelming army across complex grid maps. Instead of just trading blows, you're setting up turrets, placing trip mines, using stealth cover, and manipulating branching timelines to survive lethal ambushes. It is insanely strategic and brutally tough, forcing you to think 3 steps ahead. If you want grid tactics with a modern sci-fi twist, this one hits the bullseye. Coming in at number 8, the Banner Saga Trilogy is a dark, Viking-inspired war tale where emotional trauma is practically guaranteed. You lead a desperate caravan of humans and giant horned warriors fleeing a stone monster invasion across gorgeous frozen landscapes. Grid battles feature a clever armor versus health system that forces genuine strategy, but the real anxiety comes from the narrative. Permadeath is constantly lurking around the corner, and choosing the wrong dialogue option can accidentally murder your favorite hero forever. It is grim, beautiful, and delightfully painful. Taking the 7th spot, Troubleshooter Abandoned Children, is what happens when Final Fantasy Tactics and XCOM have a baby in a modern superhero universe. You manage a company of young vigilantes cleaning up crime syndicates across a neon metropolis. Cover and action points dictate turn-based firefights, but the real rabbit hole is the absurd customization system. You get to tweak hundreds of passive traits, skill runes, and elemental gear to construct delightfully broken team synergies. It is a massive Korean indie hidden gem that will steal over 100 hours of your life.
이번 승리는 제가 가져가겠습니다.
Before the righteous.
Sliding into 6, Symphony of War, the Nephilim Saga is an absolute dream for strategy nerds who love military logistics over single-unit skirmishes. Instead of nudging individual heroes around, you construct and command entire multi-soldier squads on a grid map. You mix heavy paladins, archers, mages and dragons into terrifying 9-man formations, balancing morale and class leader perks. Watching your custom-built death squads smash into enemy battalions and erase them from existence is pure dopamine. If you like playing War General, this indie hit is mandatory. Landing at number 5, Felseal Arbiter's Mark is the closest thing you will get to a spiritual love letter directly crafted for Final Fantasy Tactics fans. You play as an arbiter trying to keep order in a corrupt fantasy realm, but the gameplay loop is pure nostalgic bliss. It mirrors everything you love: isometric grids, elevation advantages, backstabs, and a legendary dual-class system. Combining 2 jobs lets you create absurd abominations like a healing ninja or a spell-slinging knight. It wears its 90s grid inspiration proudly, and it plays like an absolute dream. Coming in at number 4, Fire Emblem Three Houses delivers a massive, dramatic political war story split between 3 rival noble houses. You play as a mercenary turned academy professor, teaching teenage nobles how to swing swords before a 5-year time skip plunges the continent into brutal warfare. Suddenly, your former students are forced to murder each other on the tactical grid battlefield. The turn-based combat features squad gambits, weapon trees, and deep class paths, capturing the exact political drama and tragic heartbreak that made Ivalice so special. Sliding into 3rd place, Triangle Strategy is Square Enix's HD 2D political masterwork that feels like a spiritual cousin to Ivalice. You lead Prince Serenoa through a gritty 3-nation war fought over salt and iron, where major story choices force your party to vote on the scales of conviction. Grid combat leans heavily into height advantages, backstab criticals, and chaining terrain hazards like freezing water or electrifying puddles. It is a mature, high-stakes political thriller where your choices alter national destinies and the tactical depth is chef's kiss.
どこから攻めるか。天より狙い撃つ。皆を導くために。
I shall never fail.
Our runner-up at 2, Unicorn Overlord is Vanillaware's tactical masterpiece that will make strategy nerds drool on their controllers. You play an exiled prince reclaiming his kingdom across a massive, gorgeous world map. Instead of manual turns, you assemble multi-unit squads and program their battle logic, essentially like writing code for your soldiers. When armies collide, Battles autoplay based on your preset rules. Fine-tuning squad tactics, liberating towns, and recruiting 60 weird heroes is pure, unadulterated addiction.
Better keep this going. Dead and buried.
And taking our number 1 spot, Tactics Ogre Reborn is the undisputed king of grid tactics. Created by Yasumi Matsuno before he gave us Final Fantasy Tactics, this game shares the exact same mechanical DNA, mature storytelling, and isometric perfection. You navigate a grim, war-torn island where your moral choices split the story into wildly different narrative paths. Elevation, weather effects, direction, and deep class mechanics make every single battle an intense chess match. It is the legendary blueprint that defined the entire genre, making it the ultimate must-play for every Evilise fan. Which of these grid tactic masterpieces are you bringing to the battlefield first? Did your favorite spiritual successor make the cut? Drop your top pick down in the comments below, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.